of an icebreaker, what everybody's favorite holiday is. For me, here in the U.S., it's got to be Thanksgiving. I'm a massive fan of the stuffing and the canned cranberry sauce. I don't want any of that authentic stuff. I want it to be fake, and I want it to be horrible for me. If anybody else wants to share what their favorite holiday is, feel free to drop it in the chat. We have a Christmas. We have 2 Halloweens. Unfortunately, the 2 people who said Halloween do work for AMC. If I had it my way, they wouldn't for long. I hate Halloween. I'm just kidding. Yeah, 3 Halloweens. This is horrible. I don't like dressing up. I wanted to be a firefighter man when I was in kindergarten, and then I figured out they had to climb ladders, and I don't think I've really dressed up for Halloween since then. So
yeah, and David, for me, I'm not sure if I would say anything a favorite holiday, but I think starting September or October, every month has so many holidays.
there's a lot.
There's a lot. There's Halloween. Prior to that, same around time, there's Diwali, there's Thanksgiving, there's Christmas. It just goes on till New Year's. And
That's
so
why they call it the holiday season.
Right. And that is why I love this. The fourth quarter is awesome. The last 3 months of the year.
Lots of excuses to just celebrate things. Is that what you like that?
I love that.
Well, perfect. I mean, I do like celebrating things. I just don't like dressing up. All right. So, Raj, if you don't mind moving on to our agenda. So we've just done the icebreaker. We'll go over who it is that's going to be speaking to you, those who are here in attendance, and the I'm sure numerous people that are going to be watching this recording. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll dive into our deployment orchestration use case releases. Raj will touch on the things that he and the dev team have been working on that side of the DaVinci Toolkit. And then we'll hop on to the experience orchestration piece and what Raj and his team have been doing on that piece and that side of the DaVinci Toolkit. Throughout the course of this, if anybody has any questions, please just ask them in the chat, and Raj and I will be sure to get them answered for you. So real quick, my name is David Grant. I'm a customer success manager here at AMC Technology. Been here for, well, it will be 5 years in December. Been having a lot of fun working with our current customers, and I'm joined by Raj. Raj, if you don't mind introducing yourself real quick.
Yeah, thank you, David. I'm the development engineering manager here at AMC Technology, and I've been here with AMC since 2010, so since for a long time. And I have taken up multiple roles since the day I joined as a software engineer at AMC back in 2010, and now I'm the engineering manager. So I've been through multiple roles, and I've enjoyed working with AMC since then.
And we're also joined by Josh, who will introduce himself. But real quick, you may recognize his voice. He does a lot of the voiceovers on the videos that we end up posting on YouTube and stuff, showing some generic demos of the DaVinci Toolkit and how everything works. Go ahead, Josh.
Thanks, David. Yeah, I'm Josh. I'm a software engineer here at AMC. I've been here for a little over 3 years. And yes, David's correct. I have done quite a few recorded demo videos over those 3 years.
I love those videos. If anybody watching, anybody who's attending right now, go ahead and go to our YouTube channel and take a look at a lot of the curated content that we have there, showing various demos and solutions that it is we're working on. I believe that one of our solution engineers, Vamshi, recently posted a video. Maybe it was even yesterday, that I think would be of interest to a lot of you. So Raj, if you don't mind going to the next slide, we'll jump right into it.
Yeah, so David, if you want me to take over from the slide.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, David. Good morning, everyone, or wherever you're from. But I'm Raj, as I introduced myself, and I'm the software engineering manager here at AMC. Today, we would be covering couple of use cases, couple of changes, items that we have worked on the third quarter, and what we think would be of enormous help to our customers, would help our customers, meet some of their experience orchestration or deployment orchestration use cases. As David said, we'll be dividing this presentation in two parts. One is initially we'll be talking about deployment orchestration use cases. I know we have spoken about DaVinci as a platform and the way it helps people. It helps our customers meet orchestration use cases, which is basically the way your agent experience is, and deployment use cases as well, deployment orchestration use cases, which means that the way why DaVinci is so easy when it comes to deploying a solution for your call center. First and foremost, what I would like to talk about the changes that have been made in quarter three, in third quarter, is about security and infrastructure upgrade. We as people who are familiar with DaVinci, we have the DaVinci Cloud component for cloud customers, and then we have hybrid customers who use a combination of DaVinci Cloud component and a few components which are to be installed or deployed in your on-premise and on-prem environment as well. So we across the board, we have upgraded our .NET version that was used in DaVinci, and for the cloud components, you don't need to do anything. They get automatically deployed to our in the cloud. But for on-prem changes or components that has been updated with the latest version of .NET, hybrid customers who have been using this will need to get in touch with your CSM and work with them to get the latest hotfixes so that they can be deployed in your environment and make sure that your environment is secure. The other important aspect that I would like to talk about is that for hybrid customers who using on-premise channels, and when you're a hybrid DaVinci customer using on-premise channel, then you use a component called DaVinci Premise Gateway. There has been a lot of performance improvements that have been made to this component. So please get in touch with your CSM, it's David or Susanna, if you need this hotfixes, and work with them to get it deployed in your environment so that you can, one, have a more secure environment, second, take advantage of the performance improvements. One very important thing that I would like to point out is that if you are on the SAP ICI adapter or the Siebel OCI, the Siebel adapter, the Siebel toolbar, utilizing the Siebel toolbar, then you do not need you won't get any advantage from the performance improvement standpoint, but from a .NET upgrade standpoint, yes, you do need those DaVinci premise hotfixes. Any questions? David, if you're speaking something, you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, I don't see any questions in the chat. And I don't have any personally. That seems pretty straightforward to me. Thank you very much, Raj.
Thank you so much. Let's move on to the next part. Yeah. So I don't know how familiar everyone is, but from an IT administrator standpoint, we had, there was a lot of discussion about Chromium and and Firefox introducing this new setting a couple of years back, I believe, which is called third-party storage partitioning. And it is a security feature that all the modern browsers introduced. But then what happened is they also had an exception, which you basically can take advantage of till the solutions where, till you have a permanent solution or permanent fix to the applications that you have been using. At DaVinci as well, we had been using that exception for a long time now. And this setting had to be made not only for the DaVinci Cloud component, but also for DaVinci Premise component. Recently, Chrome introduced an update called Chrome version 129, and that's the Chromium version. So both Chrome and Edge as two browsers, two very popular browsers that our customers use. With that update, what happened is they did away with that exception. So essentially, you have to follow the standards or guidelines as per third-party storage partitioning compatibility. And so all our customers who had this exception so far, all of a sudden things did not go very well. What we have done so far is the fixes to support this third-party storage to make sure that we are compatible with third-party storage partitioning guidelines and security feature. There was changes or fixes were made to the DaVinci cloud component, and the cloud components were deployed around mid of September. So anyone who is a cloud customer obviously automatically got the latest and greatest update for a third-party storage partitioning fix that we deployed in cloud. And they can now seamlessly use the latest version of Chrome, which is 129. However, we also had to make some changes to the DaVinci on-premise component to have our on-premise component work seamlessly with the third-party storage partitioning exception, no more available as well. And those on-premise components have to be deployed in your environment. And so our existing hybrid customers need to get in touch with us with their CSM to get this components, the on-premise components, deployed in your environment to get over this issue. Now, I want to make sure that this will only impact you if you have Chrome or the Chromium version 129. Your agents are using Chromium version 129 in your contact center. Folks who are using a browser version before that, folks who have enterprise version of Chrome, will not be impacted because they will be able to stop the update for a certain time. Also, folks who are using Firefox, agents who are using Firefox should not be impacted as well because Firefox has not done away with that exception. So Firefox users should be fine. And if you want to continue upgrading your Chromium, version to 129, and you are an hybrid customer utilizing on-premise channel utilizing, then you need this hotfix. And this only impacts customers who are using SSO. If in case you are using the Siebel toolbar or SAP ICI adapter, then you do not need to be worried about this.
So just to make sure that, in case there's anybody watching who isn't up to speed with all the acronyms and everything, SSO means single sign-on. So anybody who's using single sign-on but isn't using SAP CRM or Oracle Siebel, correct?
Yeah, and when I say SAP CRM, I'm talking about the SAP ICI. If you're using DaVinci, if you're a cloud customer, right, and you're using the DaVinci app for SAP, then you need to change it. If you're using the client side SCAPI Siebel, then you need this hotfix. It is only when folks who are using the Oracle Siebel toolbar completely on-prem, not hybrid, right? That's when you don't need it.
Now, you did mention that, if you're somebody who hasn't upgraded to 129, and you're using Chrome Enterprise version, you can hold back the upgrade for a little bit. But I would guess that you recommend that those customers not wait to take on this hot fix before they make the move, or until they make the move, because it's not going to do any harm to have it prior to upgrading to 129, right?
That is correct, David.
Okay.
Having this hotfix is not going to do any harm, even though you are on version 128
Perfect.
of Chromium.
Perfect. So basically, if you're listening to this and you fit the criteria and you haven't upgraded to 129 yet, now's a great time to take on this hot fix before you move to 129, just to ensure that nothing goes haywire with your solution when you do get pushed to do the Chromium 129 upgrade. Awesome. Thank you, Raj. Anybody have any questions, or are we good to move on? All right. I don't see any, Raj, so I think we're good.
Thank you, David. Okay, so we would want to talk about we have had a lot of questions, a lot of great questions from our customers on um, Creator Studio, how to import agents, how to we have had some very interesting customers who have been using IT operations management tools, tools that support API-based integration to application, and see how can they use their tools to import agents, through an API, through DaVinci API, and not have to go through Creator Studio and use the import tool there. And so, one, we have been making, you can now make sure that you can not only add a new user, but you can always update your users and change the profiles, add multiple profiles to a user using the DaVinci Creator Studio import tool. You can also upload custom user attributes. Now, what are custom user attributes? Just to make sure that you are a customer, you are a hybrid customer utilizing an on-premise channel, then you can have your configuration, some of the configuration in cloud in DaVinci Creator Studio, or you can have some of the configuration in the DaVinci premise server as well within your premise environment. Uh, we now allow that configuration to be done on cloud as well. And so that is achieved using custom user attributes. And a lot of customers have actually moved to that because it just move all this configuration in the single place rather than having it distributed in multiple places. I'll be proceeding with following up with a demo for the changes that we have done. And in case you are a customer who wants to, take advantage of your IT operation management tool, because you can use DaVinci API, you can integrate with DaVinci API, and basically you can export all your users, agent contact center users, you can import them, you can delete them, and basically perform all the basic operations rather than having to do this manually using a CSV file. So
Very
if we
cool.
don't have any questions, then I'd like to move on and just show what exactly are the changes that you can do on using Creator Studio, or also and just show you what exactly this IT operation management tool. There's a toolkit that we have published in our GitHub, which people can obviously directly go to our GitHub page and get it, or they can also get in touch with CSM, and CSM should be able to guide them through the next process as well.
Yeah, let's see it, Raj.
Okay, so as you see, this is Creator Studio. This is the administration tool that is used to, administer your DaVinci account. Normally, you would have a DaVinci, your contact center administrator, or somebody who is an administrator handling creating the profiles for DaVinci for your contact center. This is where you basically have a profile. You can add all the apps that you're using. And this is where you basically plan your orchestration, the different design the orchestration use cases that your agents would be using. And once you're done with that, this is the page, the users page, wherein you will be importing all the users. And then, again, here you see that, normally what happens is, as David mentioned, you'd be using a single sign-on vendor to achieve your agent sign-on. And so, but the agent needs to be defined in Studio. And once the agent is defined in Studio, then you have the ability to see whether the agent needs to be licensed or not, and the profile that they are assigned to. When I say profile, the profile defines what CRM, what channel, what other applications your agent is going to be using, and that defines your profile. Now, there is a need of multiple that there are cases where we have agents handling, let's say, multiple, um, you know, channels. And so there is a need that where the agent will have to switch from one profile to another. And to make things easy for your agent, and again, it totally depends from use case from one customer to another. If your customer has configured omni-channel, So your agent can basically handle multiple channels at the same time without having the need to log out and log back in. Or or you have different profiles for each and every channel where you assign your agent to log out of telephony and now log into chat. Just giving an example. So the agent. Again, this is the view that the call center administrator or the person who is administering the DaVinci account will take a look at or will see. I have this user called rj@amc.com, and the only profile that is assigned to this user is .service, as you can see here. How about we assign another profile, and I have two users, two CSP file, as you can see here. Okay, as you can see here, there are two CSVs that I have in place. One is a profile CSV and one is a profile CSV and one is a user CSV. So I have this CSV called Raj Joshi, rj@amc.com. And when I showed you in Studio, the only profile that this agent had was .service. Now I want to assign another profile called PM_SF_DPG. This is also a scenario where we have seen customers having multiple CRMs in place, a CRM and a homegrown application, and the call center agent had to switch back from one profile to another. So let's say this is a case. So now in this case, we have two profiles. And in addition to that, we can also change your profile information, wherein for that profile, I defined some custom user attributes or the attributes of the DaVinci agent ID extension that this particular agent would be using when using DaVinci on a certain profile. Now, as if I go back to Studio, as you can see, the only profile that this agent has is .service. At that point in time, you can just go ahead and click on import. I can select for the okay. I selected the user CSV. I selected the profile CSV and clicked on import. It will display the message whether something succeeded, did not succeed, or what the problems are. In this case, it gave me information of how many records were imported. And as you can see here, rj@amc.com now has multiple profiles and not one profile. As you can see here, it's not only .service, but a new profile as well. And if you expand that profile, you can see that all those details have been imported as well. So there are many more things that you can do with this. I mean, I know that there isn't a lot of time to demonstrate Creator Studio at this point in time, but there's many more things that can be imported or can be, you can export users, you can delete users much more easily compared to do that one at a time. Also, as I mentioned, we also have a GitHub page for AMC technology, and this exactly lists down or will help our customers to how exactly to use this toolkit to import, export, delete users by integrating your IT operations management tool with DaVinci API and achieve the same functionality. This way, you don't have to go back to Studio and import agents or export agents, but do it using your enterprise standard, using your own IT operations management tool. That is all for the demo here. In case you have any questions, you can feel free to type in the chat or reach out to your CSM, David or Susanna, in case you need more information about Creator Studio or the IT operations management toolkit.
That was awesome, Raj. And I think from a CSM perspective, and I assume Susanna would probably echo me, we hear quite often from customers about, asking questions about how to import users and things of that nature. And even Monday, Haroon, an engineer of ours, and myself heard a question asking if it was possible to do exactly what you're saying we can now do. So it's pretty exciting. It's pretty cool what you guys are working on over there on the engineering side. So thank you
And,
for that.
and David, I remember I kind of understand that this was a enhancement, which was requested by one of our customers who basically had wanted to basically take advantage of the IT operations management tool that they had deployed in their enterprise. And they explained how easy it would be for them to, manage the agents from their existing tool rather than having to, go through this pain of maintaining all the CSVs and exporting users and everything. And so it kind of made their life of the administrator so easy. And that exactly is an amazing use case of how DaVinci can make your deployment orchestration, your administrator who is responsible for deploying DaVinci across your contact centers, how easy it can make your life.
Yeah, and this is another example of how really the customer base of DaVinci are in a way helping build the platform, because this enhancement, which we were able to do for a customer and deliver increased functionality for them, is going to be able to be used by everybody. And I think that's a really awesome example of how our customers are helping. Rising tides raise all ships sort of analogy, really helping everybody.
So if anyone has any such enhancement requests, something, you can always go back to our AMC support page, and there is a way in which you can request such enhancements, or again, reach out to David and Susanna, the CSM, your CSM, and they can always route those requests to us as well.
Absolutely. Thank you, Raj.
Thank you. So that was the last deployment orchestration use case that I wanted to talk about from a Q3 perspective. And we have a lot of exciting deployment orchestration use cases using AI that we have been working on in Q4. And obviously next quarter is when we talk about those. With that, moving on to experience orchestration use cases. And when I say experience orchestration use cases, this means that this is the way when you use DaVinci as a platform to weave magic, in the way your agents use DaVinci, making your agents' life more easy, making the agents more productive and efficient. So first and foremost, I would like to talk about a topic of, this is something, a use case that we have been hearing a lot from our customers. Again, we understand that, a couple of years back, and I don't know if it's couple or decade or whatever, telephony was the main channel when it came to contact center addressing customer needs. But then that has transformed so much since that day when telephony was the main channel, and now you have web chat, and even web chat and email is, I don't know if I can say they're modern or not, but now you can WhatsApp, you have Facebook messaging, and there's just so many channels in which customers can reach out to you to solve their needs, solve their user needs. And so one very important thing that's been going on is last quarter, we talked about real-time transcription that DaVinci can provide you and save all that real-time transcription in your CRM console. And you can use Gen AI to get value out of it. That was something that we talked in our last quarter presentation. But based on customer inputs, what DaVinci as a platform can do, irrespective of the channel that you're using, irrespective of, again, depending on the channel provider that you are using, DaVinci as a platform can now take those transcripts, okay, and then pass it to your CRM and save it in your CRM activity records, or it can be any custom records that you decide depending on what your CRM allows. And once you have those transcript at the end of the call, or at the end of the chat, at the end of the email, when email interaction is done, at the end, or on a messaging, once that interaction is complete, you can apply analytics on those transcripts and get better insights on your customer needs, and can improve your process, in multi-fold. So again, if you're irrespective of your channel that you're using, irrespective of your channel provider and your CRM, this is something that DaVinci provides a powerful tool, provides that orchestration use case. You can use DaVinci to achieve this functionality. Any questions? Please feel free to type anything or, you know.
Yeah, this is another thing that we have heard a lot about from customers. I know on one of our last webinars that we did before this one, we were talking a lot about AI and the questions and reasonable fears and concerns that customers and corporations have around putting AI into their contact center. And this is not exactly AI, if you will, but using the transcript and some of the capabilities that these channels, these CRMs have, you can use DaVinci to orchestrate some of those AI use cases and use the transcriptions to help aid those. And so being sure that you have a full 360-degree view of your customer interactions is really quite incredible, in my opinion. And previously, everybody likes to say you can get a 360-degree view, but without having the actual transcript and seeing actually what was said and who said it, how can you really say that you have a full view of every customer interaction? So now, using this, you can really enable that, along with other various use cases that we haven't even thought of yet, I'm sure. So
Yeah.
this is all really cool.
And it also depends on what exactly the customer wants to achieve. Do they want to save it in CRM, or they want to save it in a data lake and do some, apply analytics on those transcript. The other good thing that I want to point out, people when talk about transcript, they talk about security. DaVinci's architecture, based on architecture, is we have an amazing architecture that provides you with that day one data protection or day one security. Making this a very, very secure solution. And so irrespective of you have any kind of, you are one of those person who is concerned about security and other things, but are very, very keen and interested to apply such kind of initiative in your contact center, you can definitely reach out to your CSM, and then we can walk you through how secure this is. And, we have, something called a DaVinci starter toolkit, AI starter toolkit as well, which your CSMs can talk to you about it, how you can use real-time transcription, this end of the call, end of the interaction transcript to power your contact center.
Yeah, and one thing that I want to make sure that I touch on, Raj, is you mentioned that you could really save your transcription anywhere you want. I did have a customer who asked me something similar. They said, "Hey, we're talking to so and so about transcription. They would save it on their side of things, and we'd sort of have to pay to get access to it." I want to make it clear that that's not the way that AMC and DaVinci works. It's your data. You get to do whatever it is that you want to do with it. We do not own it. We do not store it. We pass it to you. So if you want to use DaVinci to help enable some of those transcription use cases, wonderful. You're not going to have to access anything owned by AMC Technology in order to get your transcript that we are passing. It is yours. We're going to pass it right along to you if that's a use case that you have.
Awesome. Thank you, David.
Yeah.
Moving on to some of the enhancements that have been made to an existing apps. First and foremost, I would want to just say that we do have a integration to Service Cloud Voice by Salesforce, and we have been continuously enhancing that application, that integration, that app, DaVinci app. And now we have enhanced that app wherein we pass call attached data that was collected, that is collected, from your customer using the, during the IVR phase, and we pass all those call attached data to Service Call Voice, to SCVs, Salesforce Service Cloud Voice, to the voice call record. And once that is done, you can use those call attached data to drive various generative AI actions, for example, next best action or any other workflow within Salesforce to work off of those, that call attached data collected from the customer. And if it makes sense, then display it to the agent as well. So again, we have heard a lot of interest from Salesforce or Salesforce customers about Service Cloud Voice. And if it's one of you, then please reach out to your CSM to get more information about Service Cloud Voice.
Thank you, Raj.
Moving on to Salesforce Sales Engagement. Again, we now support integration with Salesforce Sales Engagement, which is basically a Salesforce feature functionality, which is a more like a sales aligned functionality that basically accelerates your inside sales process and improves your agent productivity, basically sales agent productivity. And we now support it, support integration to that feature that Salesforce has. With that being said, we have Josh, the software engineer from the engineering team, who would be demonstrating Salesforce Sales Engagement to our customers today.
Before we hop into the demo, we do have a question in the chat. Priya's asking what the data on high level attached. Priya, are you asking what sort of data can be passed as call attached data? Is that your question?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so Priya, again, I do not know the context, but basically, if you are collecting any kind of IVR data, from your customer, all that data can be passed using DaVinci from your channel app to your CRM app. And currently, you can, this functionality of passing call attached data to various CRM apps was there for all of the CRM apps, just not for Service Cloud Voice. And that was something that was missing, and we kind of completed that. But there are multiple things that you can do once your IVR data. For example, when you're talking to a customer, when you basically try and contact a contact center and they ask you to key in your account number or your member ID, and all those information comes from the channel provider to AMC, to DaVinci, as something was call attached data, data that was collected during the IVR process, interactive voice response process. And once we get that data, you can configure. There are multiple cases. Well, we have customers who screen pop based on that customer, that call attached data that was collected from the customer. For example, you want to screen pop a customer who has a matching account number that was typed in during the IVR process, right? Which the customer entered in the IVR process, or you can just display it, or you can save it in your call activity. So there are multiple scenarios or use cases that you can drive off the data that is collected in as call attached data during the IVR phase of your channel your interaction.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this helps.
Awesome. Any other questions before we move on to the demo? All right, Josh, take it away, buddy.
Okay, thank you very much, David. All right, before I begin, I just want to say thanks to my team for having me on, and to everyone that's here with us live or catching the recording afterwards for joining us. My team has let me know that my screen might be appearing a bit dim. If that's the case on your end, I apologize for that. If there's anything that's too hard to see or that I go over too quickly, go ahead and let us know, and we'll circle back to it at the end. But what we see on the screen right now is Salesforce Sales Engagement. Sales Engagement is a Salesforce application that, as Raj explained, is specialized in streamlining your sales pipelines and the sales process in general. And it can also help with distributing the work across a large volume of contacts or a large sales team. In the bottom left here is the DaVinci soft phone. And right now I have Five9 as the channel provider, but of course any channel integration that we have would work with this. I'm going to go ahead and navigate to a lead. We've added some new features to our existing Salesforce OpenCTI integration so that it now integrates with perhaps the most common Salesforce cadence task of scheduling and placing an outbound call so that sales engagement users can maximize the efficiency that they get with these automated cadences. Now, I have a lead record here, and I've already prepared a very simple automated cadence that will generate in sequence some calls that'll be assigned to me as tasks. So I'll go ahead and add that record to this cadence. And once that goes through, we can see that there is a call task that's been assigned to me. Now, if I go to my Salesforce to-do list, well, it doesn't show up because this task is scheduled to start in a couple hours from now. I don't have any pending tasks on my to-do list, so I can go ahead and start it now. As soon as I initiate that outbound call task, our Salesforce app is going to pick up on that and send it directly to the CTI or the channel provider. So I'll go ahead and place that outbound call. And at this point, the sales rep would be on the call with the contact. And when that call is over, after a configurable delay so that the agent might be able to take some notes about the work they just did, our Salesforce app is going to go ahead and end that task automatically. It might have been hard to have seen there, but we can see that we're on call number 2 now. This can help with keeping your automated cadences moving as it automates starting the call, and it will automate closing the work item as well. Now, it doesn't, on top of closing the work item, it also passes the call disposition that was set on that call to that work item after it's closed. That can be used when designing and pulling reports or to drive automation further down the line in the sales process. I'll pause there briefly for any questions. Okay. Oh, go ahead, David.
Yeah, I think you're good.
Yeah, so the last feature that I wanted to demonstrate, we've added another feature to our Salesforce OpenCTI integration is do not call protection. You can see here on this lead record that there's a do not call field, and right now it's not checked. So if I initiated a click to dial, that would go straight to the CTI, right? Now, if I turn this do not call field on, the Salesforce integration that we have will pick up on that and will not allow the call to go through. We're rolling out this new feature with the sales engagement upgrades that we've added, but the do not call protection is not dependent on sales engagement. This will work anytime you perform a click to dial on a record that's marked as do not call, and it will also work for the automated call tasks within sales engagement. Okay, and that's all I have. So I'll pause for questions here before I turn things back over.
So Josh, I believe there's an important thing that you mentioned that anyone might have missed is that, this is something that's supported with the OpenCTI, Salesforce OpenCTI a solution, and not with the Service Cloud Voice.
That's correct.
Sweet. Okay. Anybody have any questions? All right. Awesome. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
All right, sweet. That does it for us. I really appreciate everybody for joining and asking questions and listening to what it is that we've got going on and what Dev has worked on. Keep a lookout for another webinar. At least we're going to be doing another development one similar to this one in January. But if there are any that come up before then, keep an eye on your inbox and we'll get it out to you. Thank you guys very much. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You as well.
Thank you.